Good evening and welcome to Lifestyle, the program where we help you to go on a journey to be prepared for the King. In other words, body, soul, and mind. We start off with the soul, where we do devotionals. You must remember that there's on Wednesday evenings. I also have Bible study, but the most important part of what you need to prepare is to have a journal. All the other things you'll get here. You're welcome to join the WhatsApp group where you'll get all your notes and information bits and stuff like that about the evening's program. So just send me a WhatsApp and ask to join the lifestyle group. We've been talking about... now where is my things? We've been talking about Esther. And your weekly goal card, you'll see all the devotionals, the verses are there that you need to read and see what God tells you, what you need to learn out of this little passage of the book of Esther. I'm also going to post something on the WhatsApp group, a link to a video on Esther. It's very, very live, like exactly how it happened. And you can see all the emotions of Esther and the whole experience there in the book of Esther, so that it can help you to have a better understanding. Now, the reason we do devotionals is, first of all, to have faith, to see how other people have faith and how we can have faith, and how we can be obedient to God. And how other people was obedient, and what happens when you are obedient, and what happens if you're not obedient. In this case, you can learn from Esther. She was completely obedient. You can see the consequences, and then the people who weren't obedient to God, you can see the consequences in their life as well. Something bright I want to share with you this week. I've been very, very sick. My voice was gone for 3 or 4 days, so it's not been a very nice week for me. It's been such a tragedy that I had to do, but was part of a presentation with Teresa on Saturday, and I had to send my daughter-in-law to go and do my speech for me, which she did very well, I believe. I received a call early Sunday morning from somebody that I take in quite high esteem, Juanita Kum. She's quite the Christian leader, and it was so nice to hear from her that that she said, whatever we do in this program, she really loves it. She believes it's for the good of God, and we must just keep on doing it. Not that we were planning on stopping it. Okay. So let's talk about Esther. Last week we talked about Esther went into the king to ask him something, and she was very scared because he didn't see her for a long time, and it was very dangerous to go into the throne room, because if the king did not like it, which he normally doesn't, they have to kill you, because you can only come in there when you're invited. Okay, so Esther then asks the king if he and Haman can come and spend the evening having dinner with her. While through the dinner, the king again said, Esther, what is it that you want? You ask me anything. And Esther, for some or other reason, said, come again tomorrow evening. So it might have been that she felt like, no, I'm too scared to do it tonight. I need another chance or whatever. It's okay. It's okay to be scared. She was a little bit hesitant of what the reaction was. Anyway, and they came the next evening, and she told the king that someone in the kingdom want to kill all the Jews, and she's also a Jew, so she needed to be killed as well. And the king was very, very upset about that. And the end result was that Haman was killed, and the Jews was saved. The king even helped, because you cannot undone whatever you've done. So the decree was out already for the Jews to be killed, but he got his people to defend the Jews as well. And yeah, in the end, Esther was the hero in the story. The king was very in love with her, very much in love with her. Haman was killed, and Ahasuerus, Esther's uncle, was made quite a high position. And Esther also received the house of Haman, which means Haman's house, everything he had, his wives, his kids, everything now belonged to Esther, which she gave to Ahasuerus to handle for her. And then the whole story ended where there was a feast that the Jews celebrate every year in honor of what Esther did. And it's called the Purim Feast, which it's normally in February or March. I wish we could do these kind of feasts as well, and we could honor them, because that was really the time where they say, thank you, Esther. Thank you. Thank you, God. Because it's not really Esther, it's God working through Esther. And all she had to do is she was obedient, she listened, and then she could be used in God's bigger will to save his people. And that is what it was all about. So yes, before we go on with Anneke, our health coach, I just want to mention something to you. You know, in order to be ready for the king, it doesn't mean you have to be perfect or pretty or slim. If you look at the story, you might think, okay, but Esther, all the pretty girls. Remember, pretty in those years is not what is pretty today. Pretty today is rake thin like a toothpick. It's not pretty in the Renaissance time, where you had to have quite a bit of weight to be pretty. Pretty is something from inside. If your soul is pretty, you will be pretty on the outside. And this is what we're aiming for in this program, to help you to live a godly life, and you will glow from within. And then we're going to help you to shine on the outside. And we're busy with that program. But before we start with that, I'm going to hand you over to Anneke, our health coach. Let me just get Anneke.
Cell or healthy a good mental health has a lot to do with a healthy body. And I completely agree with that, because when I was eating very unhealthy, I would also struggle with anxiety. So panic attacks and anxiety, I'm diagnosed with those mental illnesses, and I think a lot of people struggle with it. We just don't talk about it, or we're not aware of it. I wasn't aware of the way that I was thinking. When I went to a psychologist, she was like, that's not a normal way of thinking. You're not supposed to think like that. And I wasn't aware of that. So eating healthily is even more important for me, or for people with those that struggle with those mental illnesses. So yeah, I would have panic attacks as well, and that was heavily influenced by caffeine. So I don't drink any high caffeinated beverages at all. I would have like a black tea or something occasionally, but I only drink decaf and water. So yeah, I really cleaned up those habits. So it's such a small thing, but it just goes to show that maybe caffeine isn't as healthy as we think it is for us. So yeah, but I mean, I used to be very tolerant of caffeine. So it's just maybe something that as I got older, I just didn't work well with me. what did I do? Obviously, I went into it a bit last week, where I said, I was looking for something to help me out. So I started on Herbalife. I think I just got lucky because I really didn't know much about healthy eating or anything, and um, the way that this program was explained to me, and the way that I ate it's really beneficial for your body. So how it works is, you would have your shake once or twice a day, depending on your goals. So for weight loss, we recommend you replace your meals with 2 shakes. And what's nice about that is that it puts you in a calorie deficit very easily, because the shakes are very nutrient dense, but it's quite low in kilojoules. So I started on my shake, and then we have high protein snacks as well. And the coach guides you into showing what she eats in a day. She gives you a list of snacks, and that helps you to look into your own lifestyle, what you like and what you don't like. You add it to your lifestyle or you take it away, but you do that with the guidance of a coach. So I started doing that, and I just it took a few weeks. Actually, it took a week, and I started feeling improvements in my energy. That was the first thing that I felt. And I started dropping weight. I started dropping a lot of body fat, and I started building muscle, and that is what you want. And what is so nice about this lifestyle is that the shake is low GI. So you can have the shake and it won't spike your blood sugar. And eating high protein snacks also helps with your blood sugar. So the less spikes I had in my blood sugar, the less my cravings became for sugar and caffeine. So that made me less reliant on those things in kilojoules. So I started, what eating habits were really bad when I started out with Herbalife. So in 2020, I was a type mom. I was a mom of one, and I would reach for these quick fixes. So that would either be sugar or it would be caffeine. So, a quick fix, it doesn't give you sustainable energy. So, I would eat a chocolate, or I would eat a piece of cake or whatever, and then I would have a temporary rise in my blood sugar, but then it will crash very, very quickly. And the same with caffeine. So at about 10 o'clock in the mornings, I would be tired already. I would be ready for a nap. And I mean, that's not normal. So yeah, I was really looking for something to help me out with my energy. And something that I also noticed, that when I eat, foods that aren't healthy, sorry, my baby is sitting with me. When I eat foods that are unhealthy, it would also impact my mental health. I would feel good with that rise of my blood sugar, but as soon as I crash, I would feel like, you'd feel depressed again. So I was really in tune with how I was feeling at that stage, and I was like, I need to make better choices for myself, because I'm not feeling as good as I'm supposed to feel. So that was a big thing for me in starting my health journey. So just to show you a bit what you get on a 5-day challenge is it's 260 Rand for this sample pack. So this sample pack is so nice because, I mean, obviously we're not all made the same. We don't like the same things. So you can try it out, and if you like it, you can upgrade to a bigger program. If you don't, you only spend a little bit of money. So I think 260 Rand is within everybody's means. And then you get 9 packets of shake. So in your sample pack, you get 9 packets of shake, and it's 3 different flavors, so you can try out the different flavors as well. And it has 24 vitamins and minerals, so this is really like a multivitamin in a packet, and the taste is really, really good. So that is what you get. And the protein in the shake is about 18 grams of protein per shake, so that's a good amount of protein that you get in with the milk that you prepare this with. So that's basically it. So next time we'll see what we talk about, maybe a bit more about protein, why water is so important. But yeah, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I will get back to you and answer it in next week's session. But yeah, thank you for joining me and listening to my video.
Thank you very much, Anneke. She's a mother of 3, and it's very difficult for her to go live in the evenings, as I'm sure you know. One of them is still a baby of 8 months old, so it's not quite possible for her to do that at the moment. So we get pre-recordings, but that doesn't mean you cannot contact Anneke on this number below, and you can talk to her if you want to do the 5-day challenge. I must tell you, I'm utterly enjoying doing it. I started last week, and then I wasn't sick because of Herbalife. I think I got the flu from between my husband and my grandchild, and it was just so terrible. My voice was gone. So I still enjoyed it, because you just never feel hungry, and there's always someone around saying, remember to eat, remember to snack, remember to drink water. And it's really, to me, it makes a huge difference. It's just nice. That's nice. So yeah, don't do it because you want to lose weight. Do it because you want to be healthy. I hope I lose weight as well, because I think I really desperately do need that. Okay, last week we stood still on temperaments, and remember we talked about the 4 different temperaments, the yellow, the green, the red and the blue, and the type 1, type 2, 3 and 4. Now, first of all, I just want to highlight that this whole model is from Carol Tuttle, and she does this whole temperament thing from what is in your nature mind, and not you having to fill in list and tick off and say things like, okay, I think I fit there, I think I fit there, and okay, you tell me what you think, what color am I? It's not like that at all. Also, she does not handle this whole thing in total as a yellow is always a loud, outgoing person. Yellow can be a very subdued person. It's a fun person. And so all the personalities, if you look at them, the different temperaments can on the outside look very different than from the inside, because we all go through trauma and different things. We were raised in a generation with parents that didn't really know these things. So a red mom who handles her house like a military camp can really dampen a poor green child and put her down. So what we do is we're going to look at all that later on. The most important thing is for you to know that at this stage there's 4 different temperaments. We use Carol Tuttle. I'm going to give her information for you on the WhatsApp group. Remember, you can WhatsApp me and I'll put you on the group for all the notes and information on every session. And yeah, we're going to talk about that. So what we're going to do is I'm first of all going to give you a list that you can start filling in from this evening. This is not a formal to-do list to say, okay, tick, 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 this is who I am. This is to help you to discover who you are. Please don't let somebody else tell you who you are. You need to believe and discover it yourself. Because they might look at all your negative things, or they might look at the things that you honestly don't feel you like, but you try to be like that because you feel people expect of you to be like that. So on this list, you're going to see, you print it out, you'll see that there's 4 different types. I name them yellow, green, red, and blue as well, because that is what the most people know currently. But we're going to talk about what's your nature. And I'm going to ask you questions, and you're going to start ticking into the column. So tonight we're going to do 3 questions, and we're going to start off with, how does the different types get ideas? Now, okay, a type yellow, or the type 1, says, oh, I just come to me. I keep on seeing visions and photos, and they just come to me. I always have all these ideas. Green will say, I have to really think very deep about this. And if somebody else brings an idea to the floor, they'll say, okay, that's a nice idea, but let me think about it. And they go internally into their emotions and think it through emotionally. Red look at an idea and they'll say, what's the results? What's the end point? Why are we going to do this? Because to them, the end is quite important. Blue needs to understand the picture of what you want to do and what the end is for them to say, okay, this idea can work. I can see that all the statistics, all the facts, everything is in place. Yes, this idea can work, and here is the tick list to ensure that it's going to work. So what do you think? How do you work with your ideas? And if you at this stage feel, I think I'm a little bit yellow and blue, that's fine. You can be more than one, remember, and rather tick more than one, and in the end, I'll help you to work through it. Okay, but remember, no one can tell you. You need to make the decision, and you're going to be able to make the decision. Okay, how do these different temperaments read books? Yellow, they're very, how can I say, spontaneous readers, and they love to read about nature, and sometimes they read a lot, sometimes they don't read a lot. They like to read more than one book at a time, and they don't necessarily finish any of those books. They like variety. Remember, yellow focuses on fun, light, and enjoyment. How does green read? Green is a bit more constant and flowy. Remember, their whole nature is flowy. They read one at a time and they finish it before they do the next one. They like mystery and romance. And if they, for example, like Dan Brown's books, or they read one and they like it, they'll read all his books. They like self-help books, which can teach you something. They prefer the real book. They want to smell the book and feel the book, and they like to curl up and read. Okay, and then red, how do they read? They're very focused readers, or they won't read at all. If they read a book, they want to see the end result. They want to see, why do they have to read this book? It must be practical. They like to look at the end of the book to see what is going to happen, to make sure that it's quite, okay to read the book. They like audiobooks because then they can multitask. Then they can do other things as well. They like the real book as well because they want to see the results. Red likes to, when they read, see where they are in the book. So that's why they like the real thing. They like to know, okay, I'm in the middle of the book. I'm nearing to the end. So, this is what I can expect. They They want to have the whole picture the whole time. Blue, they either love to read or they don't read. They will finish a book even if they don't like it, because they feel what you start, you have to end. They're the people that read everything about the writer and what is being said about the book before they decide to read the book, because they're not going to waste any time. They prefer a real book. If they read an audiobook, they'll get the real one as well, just to make notes in. And they're the people that like to reread books. They'll read it about 10 times, just because they like the story and they want to live in that whole genre again. Alrighty. Now, thirdly, let's see, how do you make lists? Yellow only make lists because they feel they have to, and because yellow tends to forget very quickly, they like the list so that they don't forget things. Remember, they want fun, a fun way of doing things. Green normally likes to put lots of things on their list, and then they'll quickly start doing them just to get them off the list, because green likes to have only one task at a time to focus on, so they don't like a lot of tasks. Red will have lots of things on the list, want to do everything as soon as possible. Do it yesterday, that's the best, and then they'll burn out. Blue will first look at the information, at the system, and then what the focus is, and make sure that there's a checklist. Okay. Let me just make sure. Did I just say that? Or okay. Anyway, that is how they do their lists. So you have to now look at how you make your list and see where you fall. Remember, we're talking about what is in your nature and not what other people want you to do, and what you do because you're forced into a certain job, or your husband wants you to do like that, or your father used to tell you that's the way to do things, or you had a teacher and said you do it like this and now you just do it like that, but it's not quite your nature. And this is what real temperaments is all about. So yeah, I really, really hope that we can in the end discover what your temperaments are. Go and listen to what Carol Tuttle have to say. Man, she's a wonderful person. You don't always have to like everything that other people do to learn stuff from them. I've learned that very, very quickly. The only people you stay away from is people that prophetize unnecessary over you, or want to lay hands on you and pray for you and you don't really know them, and all those people that's constantly thinking they better and only they know God. Stay away from those people, because they're no good to you at all. The rest of the people you can learn a lot from, a lot. I learned that very, very quickly in my life. Okay, I'm going to hand over to Teresa now, which having a slight crisis with her Wi-Fi. So I'm going to see, she just sent me her notes. So let's see if I can do that for her. All right, so now I'm going to do Teresa's notes. I'm going to try my utmost best to do her good here. Okay, she wants to talk about your conscious and subconscious mind this evening. A wise man once said, if you want to get the same results, you keep on doing the same thing over and over again, because you'll get the same results. If you want different results, you need to do things differently. Now, your conscious mind is not the same as your subconscious. Your conscious mind is the part where you make decisions. You decide you're going to read the book. You decide what you're going to wear, what you're going to do today. Whereas your unconscious minds decide how your lungs need to work, how your legs need to move. I need to scratch my head now because it's itchy there. So just imagine if you have to, for 24 hours, think about breathing, hearing, swatting the fly and doing all those things. That is your subconscious mind. So your subconscious is the biggest part of your world. That is about 95%. Your conscious mind is about 5%. Now, you can have either a good relationship with your subconscious or a bad relationship. Remember, your subconscious mind believes everything that the conscious says. So if the conscious mind tells you, oh, you look terrible today, you're going to feel terrible because you're going to believe it. So you have to focus on getting your conscious mind to tell the subconscious only good, positive messages. You need to sow seed so that it can grow positive and tell it good things. In the morning when you get up, you need to say, oh my goodness, how wonderful am I looking today? What a lovely nose this is. I actually adore my hair. Because then your subconscious will believe it. And if the subconscious believe it, you will believe it, which will mean you'll feel good about yourself and you'll look good. So the minute somebody tells you, I'm reading Teresa's notes here now. So the minute somebody tells you something bad or you're angry at somebody, then it causes a reaction to your subconscious, which then causes a reaction in your body. Because what happens if you're angry at someone? Your heart goes do, 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 do. Your legs go weak. And we need to be conscious of that. So the more we let the conscience influence the subconscious in a negative way, the unhealthier the body becomes and the sicker we become. And then we sit with, as Teresa said, with black bags full of rubbish in our body, which you can decide, am I going to throw it out or am I going to leave inside to rot and stink? And this is what's going to make you sick in the end. So, yeah, she really recommends you do on a daily basis, get rid of the black bags that's rotting in your body so that you can be glowing from the inside, because you cannot glow with a few black bags on the inside that's rotting. And if you look at 2 Timothy 1 verse 7, God says he did not give you anger and worry and stress. He wants you to be at peace without any of this nonsense in your life. Okay. Then Teresa said she's actually giving you a challenge this week. There's 10 rules for a spirit-filled life. And she's going to give you one every week, and you need to work on number 1 this week. Let me just see. Okay. Discover yourself. Set in which areas you are better than the average person and apply to it to get so much knowledge and experience in the relevant area. Only then will you rise above the mass and achieve success. Okay, so how do I discover myself? This week I'm going to decide, what am I good at? Okay, please, I don't want to say ignore better than other people, because then you might never get anything, because some people just feel so insecure. Say, for example, you think, you know what, I'm a really good cook. Okay, go and get information about it. Go and try it, experience it, but be the best you that you can be. If, for example, you feel I'm better than the average person in being friendly to people, just talking to people, go to the shop just to talk to people. Do that. Get knowledge how to do it. Start talking to them. See what they feel. Ask them questions. Make a little study. Discover yourself. Be the best you that you can be. Okay. Oh my goodness. I really hope that is what Teresa wanted to say this evening. And I hope that you've enjoyed that bit so far. All right. Tonight, I want to end off by telling you that in order to have a godly life, remember, you need to shine from within. And you will glow. You will glow. I promise you. Glow from within, shine from without. Chata Romana said something very, very valuable. No woman can be beautiful and look nice unless she's nice on the inside. Remember that you can change your outside by changing your inside, by living for God. Take this week, focus on Teresa's advice, focus on Annika's advice, and become healthy with your body, and do your devotional. See what God wants to tell you, and let's discover our temperaments. Have a wonderful evening, and I hope the worst of the cold is over, but I doubt that very much.